Cane Grove man charged with inciting terrorism. Big Smith News Watch reports. A 37-year-old businessman, Dennis Persaud, from West Strathavon, Cane Grove Village, East Coast Demerara, has been charged with inciting a terrorist act through the use of a computer system. Persaud was arrested by officers from the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, headquarters following an investigation into a cybercrime incident allegedly committed on April 28, 2025. According to police reports, he is accused of using a computer system to incite others to commit terrorist acts, specifically encouraging the burning of speed cameras. The offense reportedly occurred in Caneville, East Coast Demerara. Persaud appeared before the Mahakoni Magistrates Court on May 2, 2025, where the charge was formally read. He was not required to enter a plea and was granted bail in the amount of $150,000. The case has been adjourned until June 3, 2025. Men remanded on cybercrime charges for threats against President. iNews Guyana reports. Emmanuel Rogers, 24, has been remanded to prison on cybercrime charges for allegedly threatening to kill the president and burn public property. He faces charges for using a computer system to encourage or incite criminal offenses against the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, violating the Cybercrime Act. Rogers is also charged with inciting a terrorist act through a computer system, again in contravention of the Cybercrime Act. The alleged offenses took place via the social media platform TikTok on April 28, 2025, at New Prospect Housing Scheme, East Bank Demerara. A self-employed delivery driver and laborer from New Prospect Housing Scheme, EBD, Rogers was apprehended by officers from the Criminal Investigation Department's headquarters. He appeared at the Diamond/Golden Grove Magistrates Court today, where he was not required to plead to the indictable charges. The case has been adjourned until May 23. In a related incident, 43-year-old Azriel Ashby faces similar charges under the Cybercrime Act. It is alleged that Ashby used TikTok between April 27 and 28, 2025, to incite a terrorist act aimed at burning multiple locations, including Sophia Road, Weldad, and Paradise, at Go Slow Avenue, Tuckville, Georgetown. Ashby, a security guard from El Dorado Village, West Coast Burbus, was also arrested by the Criminal Investigation Department. He appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court today, where he pleaded not guilty. Bail was denied, and he was remanded to prison. The matter has been adjourned until May 28. Opposition leader to formally request international probe into Adriana Young's death. News source Guyana reports. Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, plans to formally write to the government requesting an international investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young. This comes as his party, the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR, engages in discussions with coalition partners to develop a strategy for ensuring that justice is served. Adriana was found dead in a pool at the Doubleday Hotel last Thursday, just one day after she went missing while visiting the hotel with her family. 3 international pathologists have determined that she died by drowning, yet numerous questions surrounding her death remain unanswered. At a press conference today, Mr. Norton accused the Irfan Ali administration of employing delaying tactics to prolong the investigation and suppress demands for justice. To date, the government has shown no urgency or willingness to consent to demands for an independent criminal investigation into the events at the Doubleday Hotel by international experts, nor for a comprehensive probe into the operations of the Guyana police force, including the use of live rounds and deadly force during public protests. Instead, both President Ali and VP Jagdeo have attempted to divert attention, downplay the incident, and engage in deception, Norton stated. On Monday, President Ali informed reporters that the pathologists ruled out forced drowning, while the family's lawyer, Darren Wade, asserted that although drowning was cited as the cause of death, the manner of death still requires investigation, rejecting the president's claim. Vice President Jagdeo, however, acknowledged that the circumstances surrounding Adriana's death must be thoroughly investigated. Norton emphasized that during this time of national grief, the government is not doing enough to ensure justice in the matter. The people will not relent in our demand for impartial and reputable international investigations into both the crime and the Guyana police force. The terms of reference for these investigations must guarantee thoroughness and truthfulness. Anything less would be an affront to Adriana's memory and an insult to her parents, loved ones, and all Guyanese, he asserted. He highlighted that many unanswered questions can only be resolved through an independent probe. Norton stressed the importance of initiating the investigation promptly to prevent the destruction, concealment, or contamination of evidence and to protect witnesses from intimidation. He warned that the trauma surrounding Adriana's death will not fade, noting that her case has drawn regional and international attention with ongoing calls for justice. Mother seeking kidney donor. Newsroom Guyana reports. Malia Davis, a 34-year-old mother of two, is battling stage 3 kidney disease and is urgently seeking a living kidney donor to help save her life. Her health struggles began in 2013 when she was diagnosed with hypertension during her pregnancy. During my pregnancy, my blood pressure was consistently high, often around 200/100. I frequently visited the hospital every 2 weeks due to that, and my condition worsened because of poor eating habits, Davis shared during an interview with the newsroom on Friday. Living with this condition has significantly impacted her daily life, leading her to leave her job as a taxi dispatcher. I can't do many of the things I used to do. Most of the time, I feel weak and depend on my mom and sister for assistance, she explained. Davis began experiencing symptoms in 2021, including itching, extreme thirst, and fatigue. I was managing with my blood pressure medications, but over time, my health continued to decline, and I was eventually diagnosed with kidney disease. Doctors informed me that it was a result of my hypertension, she said. Now, she relies on weekly dialysis treatments and is in urgent need of a kidney donor, as her sister is not a match. Her blood type is A+. I am currently seeking a donor so I can get a kidney transplant as soon as possible, she emphasized. Davis urges others to adopt healthier lifestyles and to regularly check their blood pressure and sugar levels. Always get a doctor's checkup once in a while, she advises. If you're interested in helping, please contact Davis at 6533429. Please help save a life, urgent need for a kidney transplant. Faraz Mohammed, a young brother from Belvedere, is in urgent need of a kidney transplant. Both of his kidneys have failed, and time is running out. We are searching for a donor with blood type O or B. A monetary reward will be given to the donor as a token of appreciation for this life-saving act of kindness. If you or someone you know is willing to help, please contact Shamir or Paplu at 705-1552 or 705-155. Even if you can't donate, please share this post. It could reach the right person. Thank you. Several remanded for acts of terrorism and cybercrime in Region 6. Newsroom Guyana reports. A group of individuals, including a woman, has been remanded to prison after facing charges related to acts of terrorism and cybercrime in Region 6. Junior David, a 22-year-old fisherman from Rampower, Co-Riverton, was arrested on April 28 for acts of terrorism committed in Dukestown, Co-Riverton. He appeared before Magistrate Twana Hardy at the Wim Magistrates Court, where the charge was formally presented. David was not required to enter a plea, and bail was denied. The case has been postponed until May 22 and transferred to the Springlands Magistrates Court. Additionally, a 17-year-old laborer from Alness Village, Quarantine, was arrested on April 30 in connection with acts of terrorism that occurred on April 29 at Alness Public Road. He also appeared before Magistrate Hardy, but the charges could not be read due to his age. The court ordered that he be placed in the custody of his grandmother. Another 17-year-old laborer from Kildonan Village, Quarantine, was apprehended on April 30 for acts of terrorism that took place on April 29 at Kildonan Public Road. Like the previous accused, he appeared before Magistrate Hardy, and while the police swore to the charges, they could not be read due to his age. He was sent into the care of his older brother, and the matter was adjourned to June 6. Tilawati Singh, known as Angela, a 47-year-old livestock farmer from Lot 4 Ankleville, Port Mourant, Corentyne, was arrested on May 1 for using a computer system to incite a terrorist act that occurred on April 28 at Ankleville. The charge is laid under Section 18(1)(d)(2) of the Cybercrime Act No. 16 of 2018, contrary to Section 18(2) of the same act. Tilawati also appeared before Magistrate Hardy, where she was not required to plead. Bail was denied, and she was remanded to prison. Albuistown clothes vendor shot dead. iNews Guyana reports. Police are investigating the alleged murder of 54-year-old Datsun Davidson, known as Blackie, a clothes vendor who resided on Callender Street, Albuistown, Georgetown. The incident occurred on Thursday, May 1, 2025, at Coco Wright and Freeman Street, East La Penitence, Georgetown. The suspect, 33-year-old shop owner Colwyn Marcurius of Freeman Street, East La Penitence, has been arrested by the police. Preliminary investigations revealed that on the aforementioned date, at approximately 20:45 HRS, the suspect and the deceased, who were known to each other, had an argument. A loud explosion, sounding like a gunshot, was heard, and Davidson was found lying motionless a short distance away. Emergency medical technicians were summoned, and Davidson was pronounced dead by a doctor. Investigators recovered a 9mm pistol along with one live 9mm round and a spent shell at the scene. The suspect, who was swiftly arrested, remains in custody. Investigations are ongoing. A Century of Grace, celebrating Caroline Atkinson at 100. Yesterday, May 1st, the amazing Caroline Atkinson celebrated her 100th birthday, a milestone that stands as a testament to a life filled with love, faith, and service. Born and raised in Aishelton, Caroline is the eldest daughter of the late Salvador and Caridad Atkinson. She grew up alongside her siblings, the late Teresa James, Josephine Atkinson, Gertrude Atkinson, and her only surviving brother, Fred Atkinson. Her early years were spent in Wichabai, but as her children grew, she returned to Aishelton, the village that would forever hold her heart. Caroline was married to the late Henry Winter, a respected leader and the longest-serving Tasheo of Aishelton Village, serving 16 dedicated years. Together, they raised a beautiful family of 9 children: Eric, Elizabeth, Leona, Gina, Patsy, Clara, Margaret, Benedict, and Kim. Today, her legacy spans 48 grandchildren, including her eldest, Vanessa James, and youngest, Bob Winter, 109 great-grandchildren, and 8 great-great-grandchildren, a living tree of generations rooted in her love. Caroline's memory shines bright with stories of village life, from preparing shibe, curry, and hot porridge for morning vaqueros during roundups, to walking alongside her husband on leadership journeys, including a cherished memory of meeting and shaking hands with Queen Elizabeth in Georgetown. Known as the First Lady of Aishelton, in her time, Caroline treated every resident with kindness and respect. She continues to live a vibrant life, hearing, seeing, walking strong, and recognizing every voice dear to her. A proud Christian, Caroline credits her faith in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost as her secret to longevity. Her daily coffee chats with family at any hour have become a cherished tradition passed down through generations. When asked how it feels to witness so many branches of her family tree bloom, she simply says, "It feels great. I'm happy and grateful to live to see this day, to watch my family come together, grow, and love each other even more." Her message to all is one of hope. Believe in yourselves and live by belief. Happy belated 100th birthday, Grandma Caroline Atkinson, a woman of strength, grace, and unwavering faith. Reposted from the South Rupununi District Council. Customs officers seize cannabis shipment at Guyana Airport. On Wednesday, April 30, 2025, customs officers of the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, and CANU officers, acting on information received, searched an incoming barrel from the United States of America, USA. This led to the discovery of several transparent parcels containing a quantity of foreign cannabis. Makaya Andrews of Lot 274 Section B, Non-Perial, East Coast Demerara, and Lemmy Campbell of 229 Section C, Enterprise, East Coast Demerara, were arrested and escorted to CANU's headquarters along with the cannabis, which weighed 1.502 kilograms. Investigations are ongoing. Guyana urges Venezuela to respect rulings and orders of International Court of Justice. News source Guyana reports. Guyana is urging Venezuela to respect the rulings and orders of the International Court of Justice, ICJ, following Venezuela's rejection of the court's recent decision. The ICJ had ordered Venezuela to refrain from proceeding with its planned elections for a governor of Essequibo later this month. In a statement, the Venezuelan government characterized the provisional measures issued by the ICJ as abusive and interventionist, asserting that it will not comply. Venezuela reaffirms that, true to its historical position, it does not and will never recognize the International Court of Justice, nor will it abide by any decision stemming from it to resolve the territorial dispute surrounding Guyana Essequibo, which it claims has been manipulated by anti-Venezuelan corporate interests, the Venezuelan government stated. Despite participating in the ICJ process and arguing its case, Venezuela contends that international law does not permit the ICJ to interfere in matters that fall within its domestic jurisdiction. The Venezuelan government further demanded that Guyana cease delaying direct negotiations and adhere strictly to the Geneva Agreement, viewing it as the only valid path to a peaceful resolution regarding the territory of Essequibo. In response, the government of Guyana emphasized its expectation that Venezuela will act responsibly and comply with the ICJ's orders from December 1, 2023 and May 1, 2025, which are legally binding for both nations. Guyana asserted that it fully respects its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The government of Guyana reiterated its refusal to engage in bilateral talks with Venezuela regarding the latter's claims of nullity of the 1899 arbitral award, which relates to almost two-thirds of Guyana's territory. It highlighted that the matter is currently pending before the ICJ, as determined by the United Nations Secretary-General, in accordance with the 1966 Geneva Agreement. The court's judgment will be definitive, final, and binding on both Guyana and Venezuela, the government of Guyana stated. AFC demands government provide accurate figures on growing number of Venezuelan migrants in Guyana. News source Guyana reports. The Alliance for Change, AFC, has expressed growing concern over the increasing number of Venezuelan migrants in Guyana, suggesting that this situation could compromise the electoral process. The AFC's concerns were intensified following this week's parliamentary sitting, during which Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben was unable to verify the figures he presented regarding the number of migrants in the country. Initially, Mr. Ben stated that there were only 4 regions in Guyana with a total of just over 15,000 Venezuelan migrants. However, he later retracted this figure after opposition members raised doubts about his submission. The AFC pointed out that a government release from last year indicated that over 40,000 Venezuelans are currently in Guyana. Additionally, in December, the government acknowledged a growing number of Venezuelan migrants in Linden, Region 10, despite the Home Affairs Minister asserting that migrants were only present in Regions 1, 2, 4, and 8. AFC Chairman David Patterson addressed reporters, emphasizing that while the discrepancy might appear to be a mistake, the exact figures were recently discussed at a symposium organized by the University of Guyana. The AFC is deeply concerned that in an election year, where many Guyanese have expressed worries about a bloated voters list and rumors that thousands of Venezuelans, whether entitled or not, have been included on the GCOM list, the agency responsible for monitoring and regulating this group cannot provide a factual account of the individuals in the country, Mr. Patterson stated. Patterson, who pressed the Home Affairs Minister on this issue during the National Assembly session, suggested that the government may have either lost control of the migrant situation or is unaware of the actual circumstances. The AFC fears that many Venezuelan migrants could be incorrectly included on the voters list. The AFC once again calls on GCOM to enhance voter identification measures, including biometrics and cameras at polling places, to ensure that the general and regional elections of 2025 are free, fair, and acceptable, Patterson urged. While acknowledging the circumstances that led to the influx of migrants, Patterson stated that the government's failure to properly document these individuals and keep the public informed cannot be overlooked. Police forced to appeal bail granted to businessman in cybercrime terrorism case. Newsroom Guyana reports. The Guyana police force has announced its intention to appeal a decision by the Mahakoni Magistrates Court to grant bail to businessman Dennis Persaud, who has been charged under the Cybercrime Act for allegedly inciting acts of terrorism. Persaud, 37, residing at Lot 5, West Strathavon, Cane Grove, East Coast Demerara, was arrested on April 29, 2025, by officers from the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, at police headquarters. He was formally charged on May 2, 2025, with the offense of using a computer system to incite persons to commit a terrorist act, specifically, encouraging individuals to burn speed cameras, violating Section 18(1)(d)(2) of the Cybercrime Act No. 16 of 2018. He appeared before Magistrate Alan Wilson the same day. The charge was read to him, and he was not required to enter a plea. Despite strong objections from the police prosecutor regarding the granting of bail, the court released Persaud on $150,000 bail. In a statement issued on Friday, the Guyana police force described the court's decision as legally untenable and not reflective of the seriousness of the charge, which involves the use of digital platforms to incite terrorism, an issue with far-reaching implications for public safety and national infrastructure. The force firmly believes that the decision does not align with the gravity of the offense and contradicts recent rulings by other magistrates in similar cybercrime cases, the statement read. Officials indicated that steps are already underway to challenge the bail decision, emphasizing the need to preserve public confidence in the justice system and ensure accountability in matters related to national security and cyberterrorism. The matter has been adjourned until June 3, 2025, for report and disclosure of statements.